I mean, talk to us a little bit about your podcast. And you said you've had that podcast for about 2 years.
It's actually, it's not even been a year and a half.
Okay.
I'm a little crazy. I do 5 days a week. So I'm up there in episodes. It's called the Sales Experience Podcast. And it's really just focused on helping salespeople, managers, leaders, business owners with that sales experience, which is, one of the big buzzwords in what I do a lot is the customer experience, right? The CX, like what's the customer journey? For me, I look at it like the sales experience because it starts with sales. And that's such an important part. And it's all
Hmm.
sales anyway. Like everything in life is sales,
Right.
which is how I finish my podcast. And so, what things I have, solo episodes, I have guests on there, but it's really focused on helping people shift that way they see themselves in sales and how they operate and become more of a professional, so that we can ultimately all shift the way the world sees salespeople and as a profession instead of something to be feared or worried about or like afraid of in interacting with. Because it's like, oh, why is this person excited? Oh, because they're going to make a commission. I got to protect myself. That is my long-term vision, so that people see, oh, I need help buying something. I need to find a salesperson because they are a professional who's going to help me make the right decision. And I'm going to leave this conversation happier and in a better place.
It's good. I think we need more of that, podcasts like yours, with really promoting transparency, because, it's interesting. If you looked on LinkedIn, and even mine's that way, people have gotten out of that. You have all these catchy titles. No one just really says like sales rep anymore, right? Because they want to get away from that type of negative connotation that it has. But like, I don't think that that's the way it is anymore, the way that people conduct business. There's no trickery, or at least that's not been my experience. It's not something that I've ever coached and taught. But do you think that that paradigm is shifting a little bit?
I think it's shifting somewhat. I think some of it's funny because I had a conversation this morning about this very thing where people say, oh no, sales is a profession and it's a great thing. I'm like, okay, what's your title? Right? I'm account
Yeah.
executive. Okay.
Yeah.
What
Right.
the hell does that mean?
Yeah.
Right? You're not executing any accounts. Like you're trying to sell accounts. So some of it's title. People like titles. It makes them feel good, right? I understand that, but there's so much of it that's like hiding the true intent of it being a salesperson
Sure.
because people don't want to, and no other field really does that except sales.
Yep.
But I do think there's a paradigm shift, and that's the part, like you said, transparency, which is huge. That's the biggest shift, right? Is at any moment your prospective buyer knows everything about you, your
Mhm.
company, what you're selling, maybe even more than you know, right? That's where a lot of salespeople default still into this, like, I've got to educate you on everything and I've got to give you a seminar and my monologues about how it all works. Yes, and stuff like what you sell, there's a lot of things people don't understand, but you can't just assume everyone is just dumb. Like they
Right.
are looking it up. They know you. And it really makes it harder and harder for bad people to hide, because there's so much instant transparency at everybody's fingertips. I mean, if you look at the way cars are now being bought, not just vending machine where literally you buy it online and it shows up on a truck, but I mean, even like over the years where very few people now walk into a dealership without something where they know exactly how much the car costs, how much
Right.
they can find it online if they want to, and they don't need info, but they need is wisdom.
Yeah. Yep. You hit it right on the head. And this is a statistic that I had read about a month ago, that 74% of buyers will research their sellers before they buy from them.
Mm-hmm.
And I shared that with my team. I said, that's why you got to have an up-to-date LinkedIn profile. And if your LinkedIn profile looks like shit, like, you're going to be judged for it, like, and pretty
Yeah.
harshly. Right. And that's, another thing too, for the Generation Z or whatever is behind me, I'm a millennial, is like, that's why you can't be overexposed with, having weird stuff on your TikTok or your Instagram. I don't think a lot of people always correlate that like, when you put stuff out there, like, it's out there.
It's out there. It's
Yeah.
out there, man. There's no getting the pee out of the swimming pool, man. You put it out there, it's done.
Right.